Welcome to Chicano Highlights. I am your host, the Beto Man, and we have a very special guest with us, Mr. Pedro Flores. How are you doing today?
I'm good.
Good, good. All right, so let's get started. ¿De dónde son tus padres? Where are your parents from?
My father's from Redlands, California. My mom is from Yuma, Arizona.
Órale. All right. And what are their names?
Uh, Pete Flores Sr. and Maria Concepcion Herrera Flores.
All right. And how many brothers and sisters do you have?
A lot.
Well, just give me a number.
I have like about, I think it's about 15.
Whoa. All right.
They're both remarried, so divorced and remarried.
Oh,
So
okay, okay, okay.
you know how that goes.
I know. I thought it was before the era of television. So okay. All right. Ahí vamos. Ahí vamos. All right. All right. So then, you grew up exactly where?
Colton, California.
All right. And where did you go to elementary school, middle school, and high school?
Uh, they were all in Colton. I went 1 year kindergarten at Wilson, and then my mom transferred me to San Salvador, which is in Colton. It's the oldest school district in the whole area. It was there before California became a state. I did kindergarten there again because I couldn't speak English when I started school.
Órale.
There was no ESL.
Mm-hmm.
It was sink or swim.
Órale. And high school?
Colton High School, yeah.
All right. And in high school, what year, más o menos, were you in high school?
Uh, Freshman in '59, I graduated in '63.
All right. Cool. All right. So,
Happy days,
¿cómo?
the happy days.
Happy days. All right. All right. So then, was there any hobbies that you specifically liked in high school?
Uh, Sports, dancing, and girls, I guess.
All right. Okay. So then, when you graduated high school, what was the first thing you did?
Well, I joined the National Guard when I was in high school, so I went to do 6 months at Fort Ord from June until December.
What year? How many years?
'63, right out of high school, you got to do 6 months in the National Guard active duty.
Okay.
I was there in November when JFK was shot.
All right. How many years were you in the National Guard?
From '61, I think maybe about 4.5, and then I went active duty during the Vietnam War, '66, '68.
Okay, we'll get back to that. All right. So, as a youngster growing up in Colton, I mean, the city has changed, Riverside has changed. What do you remember of those days? And what did your parents do during those days? How did did you get a job as a kid? What?
Well, as a shoeshine boy, we pick berries and cut wine grapes in Fontana. I went to pick oranges with my grandpa in Corona and all these other different places. Grew up in a mom and pop store. My stepfather owned a grocery store and a tienda, so became my bilingual study center because you had to speak Spanish and English. And I remember the Italian, the produce guys from Fontana, the Rotolo brothers, the ones that got the Chevy dealership. They were doing produce, and they would go around selling produce to the different grocery stores. They spoke Espanol with an Italian accent. They spoke good Spanish, but
All
I had an
right.
Italian accent though.
All right. And so then, did you get married, have kids?
Yes, I have 3 sons and a daughter.
All right. What year did you get married?
Uh, '66, 3 days before I went in the army.
All right. Okay. All right. So then, what type of jobs did you work? While you were in the National Guard, because that's not a full time job, ¿verdad?
No, no, my first job, well, when I came back from 6 months, I got a job working for uh, my cousin's wife was a manager at this Mexican restaurant called Taco Tia. It was fast food. It was owned by a guy named Bell. The Taco Tia, they have about 4 or 5 of them. They had one here on 14th Street in front of the community hospital by RCC, and that was my first job. See, this guy Bell, he used to go eat lunch at Meatloaf's restaurant in San Bernardino, and then he became friends with the people there and started checking out how they made tacos. So instead of making burgers, he started making tacos, and uh, later on it became Taco Bell. So they taught him how to make tacos at on Mount Vernon in San Bernardino.
All right. And so what other jobs did you have besides that?
I got a job uh, working in light manufacturing in Colton, and then there's a lot of there's mostly Chicanos and Mexicanos working there, but they tried to start a union, and uh, the owners moved the plant to Oklahoma and said if we wanted to keep a job, we had to go to Oklahoma. So after that, we had to come over to Riverside. They're hiring here at Amax Aluminum, and Aluminum works on Iowa and Columbia. They told us that we had to go to EDD, and when we got there, they said you can come and take the test to go work there, but if you have a high school diploma, you can walk in. But if you don't have one, a lot of guys couldn't walk in there because they didn't have high school diplomas. And I was blessed that I finished high school just to go in there and take the test, and I got the job.
All right.
Aluminum works.
Any other jobs?
Uh, I did that until I went in the military, but after I came out, I yeah, I worked as a custodian while I was going to junior college. Worked nights and went to school full time during the day.
All right. What got you going to community college? Why college?
Well, I like to dance, and working graveyard. You know, I remember one Saturday night, I was partying at the Sombrero in Colton. They had a nice wedding dance, a lot of pretty girls and everything. And I had to come work graveyard here in Riverside, and it was Saturday night, and I was not too happy about that. So I figured if I become a barber, barbers don't work graveyard. So I said, then you got Saturday night off, Sunday night off, so I can go dancing. So I quit my job and I went to San Bernardino to the barber school, and I wanted to sign up after I quit my job, but they told me I had to wait 6 months because it takes 6 months to train a barber, and all the chairs were full. So I didn't have a job, so I couldn't get into school. So I was driving home from down Mount Vernon, and I stopped at Valley College. I used to think Valley College was a church. So I was walking around the campus. I ran into one of my buddies from high school that just got out of the Air Force. I told him what happened. He told me, "Why don't you go to college?" And he says, "Lupe, you know me. I was just a dancer and a jock. I didn't get any college prep." He said, "They'll teach you everything here." So I signed up for it, and that's how it got started.
It's funny that if you wouldn't have met him that day, you probably would have went to college, right?
I guess so. I mean, I didn't even know. Another friend brought me to UCR. I didn't even know there was a university here.
Wow. Yeah. There wasn't a lot of Chicanos at that time in community college and universities. At UCLA in 1968, there was only five Chicanos. So it's very rare that people were motivated to go to college. They were motivated to go to trade school, and most high schools were trade schools for a lot of youngsters. That's how we get a lot of the East LA bands, ¿verdad? All these musicians came out of there, pero a lot of people just didn't go to college. They didn't know, right? And so then we move into 66, 67, 68. Now we're looking at the Chicano movement, verdad? And this is a struggle, a fight for political justice. And Chicanos are, of course, doing walkouts, and they're protesting about education and not knowing their history. How did you get involved in all that?
Well, when I got to junior college, it was a strange thing because when I walked into the student union, they were playing a Light My Fire with the Doors, and this white kid was dancing on top of a table, and I was going, "Oh, I don't know, man, I don't know about this place." But then they were having clubs recruiting to get him into the clubs, and I walked by the UMA's table, United Mexican American Students, and they had posters of Cesar Chavez, and there's a lot of pretty Chicanas there, and I said, "Oh, really, I want to join the club," So that's where I went,
All
and
right.
I got involved in that. So yeah,
All right. So being involved with that, where did that take you in organizations and is the volunteering?
As far as volunteering, we, I got involved with a tutorial program teaching kids English and helping them with their you know programs and stuff like that. And uh, but I didn't get a chance to do that much because I was working like almost like a swing shift and then 8 hours and then going to school full time. But I still got involved in the community as much as I could.
All right. And you went to UC Riverside.
Oh yeah, prior to UC Riverside, we had well, a little history here. We they started a multi-purpose center in Colton, and during that time, Nixon was giving away what they call revenue sharing for the cities and the counties, and the Colton was getting some of that money, so the city could do whatever they wanted with it. So the people in the south side, where all the Chicanos live, they wanted a multi-purpose center, and the deal was that they wanted to bring in a clinic, a dental clinic, Social Security, one center where everybody in the community could go there and to get services, social services and medical services. And we had to march against City Hall to get him to get the money for the multi-purpose center. And our parish priest marched with him, and they called the diocese to tell him that the priest was starting a ruckus. And they told the priest that the diocese. They told him, if you march one more time, we're going to take you out of there. And we did march. I called in sick that day, and I got fired for that. Reason being is because my picture came out in the paper holding a placard, and my boss saw that, and she told me, I'm going to have to let you go so you can get involved in your social functions, and I lost my job.
What was the name of the father?
Father Patrick Guillen. There
All
was
right.
two cousins. There was another. His cousin was a parish priest over in Chino, Manny Guillen, and so that they laid him off, and the diocese promoted him to. They took him out of the parish and made him. When they demote you, they either move you up or down. They moved him up, put him in charge of ethnic affairs, and this way he wouldn't be in the parish, starting trouble. So he came. He told me he came in from the Vatican, and he didn't know what was going on in the Chicano movement, and he got caught up in it, lost his job, and they moved him up. But
That's right. Yeah. Father Guillen also started Libreria del Pueblo with Rosa Marta Zarate. Do you know Rosa Marta?
I've heard of that name. I knew a Zarate over in Corona, though.
Yeah,
A
Zarate.
one
She
Zarate.
plays the guitar.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. A lot of music, a lot of good music out of San Bernardino. So then, of course, let's just step back real quick for the audience that don't know. President Nixon was president from 68 through 74, 75, ¿verdad?
Yeah.
Okay, so just to
Until
give it
until
a time frame.
until Watergate came in. Yeah.
Correct. Yeah. All right.
Yeah. Well, see, I want to say one thing about the multipurpose center. It became the precursor for others. Fontana, when we got our money, we got the community center. They hired me to be a custodian on the job, but I remember Fontana opened up, Cucamonga opened up a multi-purpose center, and Casablanca got money for the community center. And people started, doing the multi-purpose thing. And I remember some people came in from University of Chicago to check out our multi-purpose center because it was a brand new thing where, you didn't have to go downtown Social Security. We even had a dental clinic, mobile clinic. They came in from Loma Linda and did dental care. They had prenatal care. And so it was a precursor to a lot of multi-purpose centers.
All right. And so now moving on to UC Riverside. Uh, how did you transfer? Did you have financial aid? I mean, what did you think of UC Riverside at that time?
Well, I want to tell you this is the truth. I almost got shot by the highway patrol coming over here. I worked at the cemetery part-time digging graves for the city, and during my lunch hour from 12 to 1, I drove over here to turn in my application, paid my $50 admission fee, and they stamped my paper, and then I drove back. But during that time, I was driving a red Volkswagen. So during that time, somebody somewhere in Fontana was robbing a gas station. It was a Mexican with a mustache and a red Volkswagen, and I fit the description. So when I was going back to the cemetery, a highway patrolman followed me and pulled a shotgun on me and put a shotgun on the back of my head barrel, and he handcuffed me with the other free hand. And I got scared because I said, if he moved a little bit, he might blow my head off with that shotgun.
Wow.
Instead of waiting for backup, he did it all himself. With yeah. So my supervisor and my foreman at the cemetery, the cops asked him, "Well, who is this guy?" He said, "Well, he works here." He says, "Are you sure?" "Yeah, he's been here all this time." "Yeah, I couldn't be in Fontana and UC Riverside at the same time robbing, a gas station." So
Wow.
they let me go.
Right. So what was your major at UC Riverside?
Well, it all pointed towards anthropology of all things, because every time I wanted to take a Chicano studies class, I had already read the book, so I just kept on going to anthropology. I was very curious about, humanity and social things. But yeah, but when I was in high school, I did take one class. It was called World Culture, and it talked about, well, there it is, world cultures, and you study about peoples and cultures and things like that. So I was always fascinated by other cultures and other peoples.
All right. And so then at UC Riverside, who'd you hook up with? Who were your friends?
Oh well, I had all kinds of friends, but I had a lot of friends from the desert. Uh, I had one of my roommates was from Thermal. He became a school teacher. Another roommate was from El Centro.
Names. Names.
Oh, Pedro Lopez and Juan Ulloa, a Judge Juan Ulloa, and from El Centro. We were roommates. And actually, I was brought over here by a friend that was at UCR going to law school, Hank Ramirez. He was from Coachella. He became an attorney, and he brought me to UCR. And because he said, I don't want you staying at a junior college like some of these other Chicanos for 5, 6 years at JC. So I did 2 years at the JC, and then I came over here. I had a 2.8. He knew the admissions officer, and I was told that I tried to apply for EOP, but they told me my GPA was too high. I said, "What? 2.8?" Yeah,
Uh,
because in those days, if you had a D, a D minus, and an F, you would get all kinds of money. So I couldn't come in as a EOP student. So they brought me in through special admits with a back door. That's for students that can throw 100-mile baseball or shoot hoops or friends of the university. That's what I heard, that I came in through the back door.
Órale. All right.
But I came in though.
And what other friends did you have?
Oh wow! I had ran around with Samoans, the Samoan brothers, and I used to party with Native Americans. I used to hang out with just about everybody,
Right.
and I had a lot of friends. It's a multicultural situation here, and then I had a lot of friends in the BSU. One thing I noticed in the '70s, there was a lot of dashikis and afros, and I remember going to UCLA for a conference, and I saw Kareem Abdul-Jabbar there when his name was Lou Alcindor. But I came to UCR about 3 years ago, and I walked around. I didn't see hardly any afros, so it's a different situation now.
Right. And Juan Lujan?
When Lujan, I met him here at UCR. We became good friends, and yeah, we partied together, and real nice guy. I got to know a lot. I got to know a guy named Mauricio from Coachella also,
Órale. All right.
and
And what year were you here, más o menos?
I got here in '70 until '73, and I actually got my degree in '74.
All right. Did you meet Jesse Valenzuela?
Yeah, yeah, Jesse. Yeah,
Órale.
yeah, he was a greenhorn when I met him coming out of Banning.
Órale. All right. How about Russell Harrigan?
Yeah, I remember him. Yeah,
All right. All
yeah,
right. Cool. All right.
yeah, I remember those guys.
All right. Yeah. They all went a certain direction,
I,
¿verdad?
I,
All those people became social, working for social justice in one way or another. So after UC Riverside graduating, did you graduate?
oh yeah, I did. Yeah,
And your BA was in what?
anthropology.
Oh, good. Okay, perfect.
I got a 3.8.
Órale. All right. And so then, what was your career after that?
Well, I had a choice to go to law school, which I didn't go because my roommate Juan he went, and I had a chance to go to I could have gone to a PhD program in anthropology, but I got involved in martial arts, and the actually I got involved with the judo here at UCR, and the guy that taught judo here was Richard Blinky Elizalde, and he was from East LA, from Moravia, and he was a martial arts since from the get-go, and he went to the Olympic trials from here at UCR in '72. And actually, he was, I didn't know it. He told me later he was a martial arts instructor for the LA Brown Berets. He was friends with David Sanchez.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I got to know David too.
All right.
Yeah, when they came through with the marcha from the border going to Sacramento.
La Reconquista.
Yeah, I remember we met him in Banning. We went and picked him up. We told him not to put tents up there in Palm Springs because the winds were very strong. We went there that night. The tents got blown away, and we had to take them all into Banning. The MAPA, the Mexican American Political Association chapter people picked him up and helped him out there in Banning. Then after that, they washed their clothes and everything. And I remember the washing machine got full of sand because I had on the clothes.
Wow.
And then they kept on marching and ended up over here. They went into the reservation, but the Native Americans didn't approve very much because they didn't like the idea of the Marcha Reconquista. So, but they kept on going. They came to Casablanca and they marched on.
Yeah, it's sometimes it's just the understanding the context of what they're trying to state, ¿verdad?
Oh yeah, yeah.
La Reconquista was a marcha to basically call more brown berets to join out of the barrios and to get them politically, aware of what's going on, and that politics affect their lives, verdad? And so the brown berets, if a lot of people don't know, they started around 67, went until 72, and the brown berets were very instrumental in many marches, protests, demonstrations. They were the security for those events. And something big happened at the Chicano Moratorium on August 29th of 1970. You were there. Tell me about it.
Well, we chartered a bus from San Bernardino, Cal State San Bernardino students, and the Mecha from there, and the Mecha from Valley College. We took the bus over there, and we got to Belvedere Park. We parked the bus there, and we all got involved with the march. And it was a hot day, and as we were as the march was going into, you know, finishing the march, it was hot, and I don't know what sparked the whole thing off, but then the riot started supposedly, and it just got crazy, and people were getting beaten up and stuff. Gas was being flown around. Uh, well, I've been in riots because I know about riots because I went to the Watts riots and the National Guardsmen, and I saw what happens. Well, I've been on both ends of the riot, so I seen what goes. But yeah, there was one incident. I remember one girl was screaming and crying, and I asked her, "What's your problem?" She goes, I don't know where my friends are. They've left." And I said, "Well, where are you from?" And she goes, "I'm from Riverside. I'm from Casablanca." And I told her, "You're from Casablanca? Well, we're from San Bernardino. You got a bus. You come with us, and I'll make sure you get home." I did. After we came back from LA, I drove her all the way, dropped her off in Casablanca. It was a long time ago. I can't remember her name, but it just one incident there. But uh, yeah, it was. Oh yeah, I'll never forget one thing too. When I was running, I stopped and I looked into this alley. There was a crowd of people there, and in that crowd, there was one guy that I identified. His name was Corky Valdez. Was it Corky from the Denver?
Jorge Gonzalez.
Corky Gonzalez. Yeah, Corky. I recognized him because I've seen pictures of him, and he had his little group of entourage with him. They were in the alley. They were looking around. They didn't know which way to go. And another thing too, I remember seeing two bottles of a long neck beer just flowing right there at the curb. And I picked them up and somebody ran by and I gave him a beer and we're drinking the beer. And it was crazy. People running all over the place, but it was well, what gets me is that right before the Chicano moratorium, they had a moratorium in San Francisco where they had thousands of people and nothing happened. They had the army there and everything, but they didn't do anything to the flower children. But hey, it was a whole different thing in Los. LA is a different ballgame. But people forget about that, that they had the big one in San Francisco and all the hippies and all the flower children. They didn't get beaten up and abused, but they worked us over real good. Uh,
Yeah, just again to step back and just give a little information for those people that don't know about this event. The Chicano moratorium was protesting the Vietnam War, and it wasn't about the war, it was about the disproportionate numbers of Chicanos dying in Vietnam that were the grunt soldiers in the front lines, and they were dying in record numbers from Texas and California. And so then a lot of Chicanos, they were mourning and they were really in grief that this was going on to our Chicano communities, whereas many of the of the rich, affluent, middle class kids that got deferments and can go to college, they weren't being drafted or they weren't going because they would get bone spurs by their doctors, right? Who were their uncles or whatever, right? And so then that's why the Chicano moratorium occurred. And it was a supposedly somebody stole a six pack at a store, which is a false report. But they already had the buses of riot police a couple blocks away. They just came in banging heads if you didn't move fast enough. So it was really oppression. It was putting down the people. There was 30,000 people in the crowd, and the riot, took place for a week because Chicanos were fighting back. The Brown Berets were the shock troops. They stepped in and took the blows of the cops and tried to divert the cops from hitting women and children and old ladies. So that's what was going on at the Chicano moratorium, and it was one of these events that stands in infamy, como dicen, ¿verdad? So then these are the things that occur, and you're right. A lot of times when it's the flower kids, oh no, they won't touch them. But when it's anybody of color, then we have a giant problem. There's a riot, there's an uprising, there's a revolution, there's guerrillas, so forth and so on, right? But that's the game they play in order to keep oppressing, Chicanos, right?
yeah, well, that was then, but like we've been evolving. I think things have been, of course, have been changing. Uh, I see a lot of change going on, but people don't realize that. But there is change. We can't stay in a time warp. We have to move on because uh, my like yeah, I grew up Chicano, but my kids haven't. I mean, I never try to influence in their political views and thoughts. They have like, well, my son that went to UC Santa Barbara, he identified with the Chicanos, but he grew up a lot in Orange County and Corona, and he said, Dad, I had Jewish friends. I got to know a rabbi. I went to bar mitzvahs, and I just couldn't stay in one group. And my other sons did the same thing. They had a variety of friends and uh, some belong to a fraternity. I mean, it's a we're assimilating. People forget, but it takes time, and I, you know, you have to assimilate, become part of this nation, of this fabric. I mean, because the way I look at it, I don't see anybody jumping on planes and boats and trying to leave the United States because it's a bad place. I see everybody trying to get here, and as time goes on, there's different kinds of Chicanos. Like, for instance, my granddaughter, she's going to graduate this coming year in political science and communications. Right now, she's an intern for a United States senator from Ohio. And last year, she was an intern for a congressman. My grandson is a freshman in pre-med at University of Miami. He wants to be a doctor. I mean, like, uh, times have changed, and we're moving on. We're evolving, but uh, we can't stay in a time warp. That's why I look at it. Things have happened. History is history, but we have to evolve and become better. And I look forward to a better world. I mean, it's up to the next generation to make it a better place. We've gone as far as we can. Right now, I got friends in my generation that are dying left and right, and I've seen a lot of things, and I've gone through a lot of things, but I can't describe things to them. I've talked to them about what I went through, but they understand.
And I get that. I mean, there's assimilation and acculturation, and as an anthropologist, you should know. My thing is Chicano studies. I have 30 years studying racism, and the thing is that it keeps repeating itself over and over and over. 1934 Repatriation Act, 1954 Operation Wetback, 1994 Operation Gatekeeper, and now in 2025, what is it? The disappearings. And so, in each and every single time, even though you assimilate and you want to become part of this nation, the problem being is that no nos quieren, and they start deporting American citizens at the same time they're deporting, migrant workers that are here, providing the fruit and the vegetables for this country to eat. So there is a difference in assimilation, right? In which you disappear into the dominant society and become the dominant society, and then there's a culturation where you try to keep your culture as much as possible with your language so that you don't forget who you are. Porque the problem being is, again, who are they targeting right now? Us. As Chicanos. They're not looking at us as, oh, they're American citizens. They don't care. As long as you got a Spanish surname, as long as you're brown, as long as you're, doing this or doing that, they're still targeting us. And that's the problem. I know we shouldn't live in a time warp, but we have to keep talking about the past in order so that it doesn't repeat again, which it's doing right now. They're repeating the past right now because people are afraid, right? The dominant society is afraid of losing control within the United States, and so then they want to get rid of the majority. Who are the majority? Chicanos.
Yeah. Uh, well, I have no, I don't have very much say so in this. I'm at the well, I look at it this way, like the Japanese, you have the spring of your, there are 4 seasons in your life: spring, summer, the fall, the autumn, and the winter. I'm in the winter of my,
All right.
yeah, yeah. I'm just going. Hey, Sasuke, I got this far, but uh, I've to me, a lot of things have improved, but I think we have we have a lot of people just trying to get in here. This happening not only in the United States, but it's happening all over the world. Look at England.
Right.
I mean, uh, climate change. It's crazy. Like
Oh yeah, absolutely.
yeah. So we're not the only ones. We have uh, people trying to migrate or trying to get in.
That's right.
And
Yeah, global warming.
oh,
And who caused global warming? Corporations.
but sabes
The,
que la
the,
carrucha.
the corporations have gone around the world and they've been polluting the land and they've been raping the land for a very long time. And so then you have all these poor countries where, the global change, the whole world is moving. But where are they moving to? They're moving to the rich, economic, well-to-do countries, right? Like the United States. But we also got to look, you're an anthropologist, you know this. The United States has been in Latin America, stealing the gold, the silver, the oil, the coconut fields, the banana fields, the sugar fields, and they brought all that wealth over here. So people want to come here because they're looking for their money. That's what they're looking for. All that wealth that was stolen for 200 years. And so then, yeah, people, this is a great country. I'm not denying this country and I'm not going to leave this country. But that's not the point. The point is, why are they coming here? It's because of 200 years of rape that they're coming here. They're coming here because this is where the wealth was taken from their lands. It was taken to here. And, if you look at England, also, what did England do? They went to China. They put them on opium. They went to Africa. They stole the diamonds and the gold. They went all over the world.
Well,
So there is a reason why, the third world countries are leaving their land and coming to the rich countries.
it's what they call it, the population bomb.
Yeah. Yeah.
population bomb. It's just, hey, we're gremlins.
All right. Any last comments? Anything else that you want to talk about? So, yeah, I think it's time to go.
Yeah, well, uh, I've seen a lot of things in my time, and uh, I feel blessed, that I got to come to the university and meet a lot of nice people and have my eyes opened up. But it's hopefully it'll be a better world, and we can't.
Hope.
We're gonna have to get along with each other,
We
and
have to.
yeah, we're all brothers here,
Yeah.
so we all have to
Humanity.
humanity, and uh, I'll say one thing is that I'm at this point in my life, I'm a Christian, give my life to Jesus, and
I did too.
yeah, and I wish I worked with Willie G at one time, and I wish he would have told me more about Jesus, but uh, I got to know the guy, really good people. But anyways, God bless you all, and uh, just keep on going here.
All right. Ándale,
Okay.
gracias. Thank you for coming. You'll come back again, ¿verdad?
Yeah. Thank
Órale.
you.
You've been listening to Radio Aslan KUCR 88.3 FEM. I am your host, Beto Man, and of course, you can listen to Radio Aslan on KUCR 88.3 FM every Friday night from 6 p.m. all the way through Saturday morning, 7 a.m. That's 13 hours of Chicano alternative programming, Simón que yes. Ahí te guacho hasta la próxima. Pórtense bien. ¿Qué hubo?